Arizona's Real Rock 98K UPD, and it is Green Day. Hello, everyone. It's me, Fitz. Very excited to have Chester and Ryan from Dead by Sunrise here in the studio. How are you guys today?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. How are you? Last time we talked, you were trying to get your carpets dried.
You know what's really funny is my carpets were being cleaned again today. How weird is that? I'm not even joking. I have 4 dogs who constantly
I think prep is only scheduled on carpet cleaning days.
Right.
So you can get out of the house.
Yeah, it's totally annoying.
Good job, guys.
Doggy daycare, Chester. They can teach you how to keep your dogs. They can potty train your dogs for you, man.
You know, it's more. I think it's more the fact that I have family members that bring their stray dogs over who pee in my house, and then my dogs feel like they have to pee on top of the pee to make sure that everyone else knows that it's their house.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like annoying.
Little chemical weapons factories going around.
Right, exactly.
Little gang fights. They've all got little bandanas on, peeing on stuff, tagging their territory. It's good to have you guys in. Ryan, how are you today? Everything good?
Fantastic. Yeah. I'm home for a few days after we just did a world tour.
Yep.
Around the world for me in 11 days, 15 flights in 11 days, and you guys were out there a little longer, right? With Linkin
Park. Yeah, we were out there for like 5 weeks, and it was pretty crazy. Like going from here to Europe and doing a bunch of shows there, and then going from Europe to Asia, and then back here. It was the worst idea we've ever had because it literally, like, you think jet lag. You know, when you go from New York to here is like people complain about that. Going around the world and coming back here, it was literally, it took like, I think you're still suffering from it.
Oh, yeah.
And it took me like 4 days to not feel like my head was going to explode.
4 days, the dogs are peeing nonstop, the carpets have been destroyed. You're never going on tour again, are you?
Nope, I quit. I'm hanging up. That's what I'm here to announce. I retire.
So, if you have to travel all over the world with the various bands in the middle of the swine flu, did you get like 18 different confusing briefings on H1N1, or was it just like, don't touch anybody?
In Europe, it's kind of like here. They just like have like, pieces of paper stuck to the wall, and that's about it.
Right.
In Asia, it's like everywhere you go, they have like these like thermal detectors to see if you have a fever. So they, like, as people are walking in, they can see who's hot, and they can grab them and then swab them, and then they quarantine them for however long.
Holy
and they
smokes.
question you as to where you've been, as to what you've done. And they've got people walking around in masks, and it's like H1N1 everywhere, and you're just like, I'm actually more scared of what's going on here than I am of actually catching the virus. Because apparently, from the research I've done, you have to actually be already really sick in order to die from it.
Right. Yeah.
So if you're like already dying from like pneumonia and you get it, you're probably going to die.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
completely.
So otherwise it's just like the flu,
right?
From what I've heard. So I was actually less scared of that and more frightened of being quarantined.
Right, because what if their scanners are broken? Well, we can't take their temperature. They start doing it manually. They hit you with the oil.
Yeah, they bring Dr. Jelly fingers. Yeah.
Bad scene. See, Chester, here's the thing, man. It's like obviously, both of you guys have been around the world, and you seem to be very reasonable about the H1N1. I've been trying to start a media panic about H1N1 for since it came out. I'm like, we are all going to die,
right?
And you're not helping. Say something inflammatory, man.
I think that what's not working for you is the whole bird flu thing and the SARS thing. They already panicked everyone and nothing happened. So they're like,
right.
People are just like, yeah, okay, whatever. They're actually probably more frightened. You'd be like, herpes is real. Right. And by the way, if you have herpes, the only way to get rid of it is by giving it to somebody else.
Right, exactly. it's like a bad penny. You just got to pass it along. It's Arizona's Real Rock 98K UPD. I have Chester and Ryan from Dead by Sunrise. And Chester, when you and I talked about Dead by Sunrise a couple months ago now, when the carpets were first being undestroyed, you said it didn't sound like Linkin Park. And congratulations, it doesn't sound like Linkin Park. With your voice in there, it's obviously very you. But the new song really, really rocks. It is great. When is the album going to be done? When are we going to be able to hear more of that?
We're actually done. It's finished. It's totally finished. It's coming out October 13th.
Nice.
I think it's actually doing pretty good. We just went on pre-sale yesterday, I think, or the day before yesterday, and so people can go on there and pre-order on iTunes and pre-order the album, and you get a track immediately from the record called Fire that gets downloaded automatically.
Oh, right on.
If you pre-order it now, you can get another track.
Cool.
So things are looking pretty good with everybody that hears the record seems to like it. You know, and it's got a mix. It's got this kind of grungy, dirty thing going on. There's a little bit of punk going on in there, but it's also got some really nice melodic mid-tempo songs too. That I think it gives it kind of like a good ebb and flow. That it's not just all punch you in the face, and it's not too much. It's not too much of the soft stuff either.
Cool. I'm really looking forward to hearing more tracks off it. Ryan, what's your favorite song off the album? I know. Pick your baby. I know. You gotta pick one.
I think "Inside of Me" is a song that, of course, no one's heard it, but I think it's actually could be. Have you heard the record?
No, I was playing. No one's heard, but it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
Honestly, best thing you've never heard.
I think it could be a single,
right.
But it's one of my favorite songs. It's just like 2.5 minutes long, and it just gets on it, and this chorus just delivers, and it's sort of got a punk feel to it. It's just everything I love about a great, ripping, awesome song with tons of melody and a catchy, guitar riff.
Nice.
It just sounds like you can pick up a guitar and start playing it. And it's just really cool.
Maybe
because I wrote the song, it is like anybody could pick it up and play it, because I'm not a good guitar player.
I can't do it. I can't do it,
Chester. And because of that, I don't have to work there.
It's actually kind of cool because I have two of the best guitar players ever in the band, and so it's really easy for them to learn how to play the songs. But yeah, that's a pretty rocking song. I personally like, one of my favorites is "Condemned." It's kind of that's a pretty
I like
song
"Condemned"
too.
a lot too.
It's a little different. It's really dark and really heavy, and the lyrics are pretty nasty, so it's good.
Looking
See,
forward to it.
Inside of Me has a whoa part in the chorus,
right.
that is good. Whenever anyone goes whoa, it goes into a chorus, you know it's on.
You just want to put on your checkered
We do
Vans.
it more than once. We do it like 4 times per chorus. So there's lots of whoa, and that makes me really happy.
That is awesome. It
sounds like a party's going on. You know
just
what I mean?
yeah. Good
Party
times.
in your ear, which is like an infection.
Right. And in Asia, they'll put you through a scanner to see if you've got it.
Yeah, you get quarantined after you have to listen to it.
Oh, that is awesome. It's Arizona's Real Rock 98 KUPD. So I have these people. Obviously, these people that I said when you guys were coming in, I said, let's get some people in to ask some questions. And it turns out that, Chester, this is Derek Streeter, your high school math teacher?
Yeah, I hope this makes me sound tall. Yeah, I've been a math teacher at Greenway High School, which was one of the many schools that Chester attended for a while. And this is very exciting for me. It's pretty exciting that he comes down and does this for us. But I had a couple of questions for him.
You also were the math teacher of Kyle from Digital Summer.
Right. Yes,
and I think
Kyle
Ashley
Winterstein's
also
math teacher,
was.
And,
it's like a Greenway High School reunion in here.
He actually spent more time with me in Saturday detention.
Yes.
Right. Breakfast Club style.
We were regulars in Saturday school.
So if you want your children to become rock stars, put them
send them to Greenway
to
High
your
School.
math class. There is a statistically high probability.
Was Chester a good student?
He had some loves, and that brings me to one of the questions. Nice segue, Fitz.
Ass radio disc jockey.
You guys may not realize it, but when Chester was in school, he was quite the actor. Looking at his transcript, which I brought with me, but we won't discuss that.
I would never have guessed that.
He did well in his acting classes, showed an interest early on, was in there early. And so my question, I guess, for you, Chester, is I saw the painting. He did a wonderful painting, and so he shows creativity on many different levels. And you've done a lot of music, and you're transitioning into your new thing. You ever thought about doing any movies? I know you had that cameo in Crank. How would acting work out for you?
I haven't done it for a really long time, and the people that take it seriously, I would, if I ever do a movie, I want to make sure that I get kind of up to speed. But I actually just got offered a role in a horror movie that's going to be made next year, and. The director basically, I don't want to say just yet because I haven't said yes, I'm going to do it or not. But it's one of the best horror movies ever.
Leprechaun 5, right?
It's going to be Leprechaun 5.
I knew it.
And then I'm also going to do Pumpkinhead. There are movies that I really love, and he said, you can do anything is just do a cameo, or we can write you into the script, and we can make you as big as however big you want to be in the movie. And I was like, wow, that's really nice of you. So I don't know. I think I love doing that. It was always a lot of fun to be in theater. I really enjoyed that class. That was the one class I got an A in, and then everything else I pretty much ditched. All the time. It was.
It's like we have a show coming up with the End of Summer Scorcher. You know, we pay you in beer if you want to play it. I mean, you can just. I mean, you guys can just, yeah, this is great. Yeah, we'll put you in a parking lot for a few minutes before the show if you want to do it. I mean, I don't want to say anything, but you're looking for some small shows. We will put you in a parking lot.
Can we sell the beer for money?
You could sell the beer for money, Rockin' and Glendale
you just
style.
pay us in beer, and we will open a concession stand.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
And every 15 minutes we'll play a song.
Oh my God!
Acoustically.
That would be so badass.
The entrepreneur comes out, so they have to buy a certain, set amount of like $20,000-$30,000 worth of beer before we play a song.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that'll work. I'm totally down to do that.
Yeah, I like that.
Awesome. All right, so we'll get you a beer tent and an acoustic guitar, and it'll be awesome at the End of Summer Scorcher for you guys.
We're rich.
One show, we're out.
We'll only play Phoenix from here on out. It'll be so cool. I'll come out and visit your family and hang with you. We'll play a show and get rich.
That's Ryan, you are a genius! Thank you. It's Arizona's Real Rock 98 KUPD. Ryan and Chester from Dead by Sunrise. The CD is going to be in stores on October 13th. If you go to iTunes right now, you can pre-order the album and get a song off it. What's it called?
Fire.
Fire is the name of the song. Who is, because you just said, you're here, Ryan, you're here. Who are the other dudes in the band? Because you said people might not know.
We are, it's Amir and I from Orgy.
Yeah.
And the rest of the band is in another band called Julian K, which is a sort of a side project that we did after Orgy.
Uh-huh.
And Chester helped produce Julian K and helped us write and basically helped me become a singer over the last couple of years.
Uh-huh.
And it kind of segued into
He didn't need much help.
Yeah, I totally needed help. It's kind of cool when you have one of the best singers in the world, possibly my favorite singer, help me out, and who also happens to be, my best friend. Create this new project, which is really cool, kind of Depeche Mode style, heavy, dark stuff, and we have been touring that over the last year, and may do a little bit of playing.
We actually have some secret weapons that we've kind of been holding on to for a long time. Fu plays all the keys and runs all the synths and stuff for us while we're performing live. He actually is he's always been a producer and more of an engineer, so he's never really been on the stage and performing.
Yeah.
He's always back in the back, in the shadows, kind of hanging out. He's a genius though, and then we have Brandon. Brandon has been hanging around Orgy since he was like 16.
Sure. He used to be our assistant in Orgy.
Yeah,
He's this young guy who actually grew up to be tall and cool looking.
Right.
Yeah.
And can sing better than me.
And he's really talented, and he can do whatever. It's like, oh, you're going to be the bass player. He's like, oh, I guess I'm going to learn how to play bass and sing at the same time.
One of those savants who's just awesome at everything.
Yeah, you can say you're playing piano now, and he'll walk up and start playing piano chords.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
and then you're like, and get us a sandwich and change the strings on the guitar. And he's like, no problem. Yes,
Man.
dude, you're amazing. He's really a great talented guy and a super good cool guy. And then we have one of the best drummers I've ever seen. His name is Elias, and
he lives in Phoenix.
He lives out here, and he is shredder. Like there's.
He's a monster.
He can play as good as anybody.
Oh, cool.
And he crushes the drums, and he's a good guy too. And so I kind of luckily with Ryan and Amir, I've known them for a very long time, for 10 years now, and we've all been very close. And so when I was playing my songs at home, Ryan would hear them or Amir would hear them, and he'd be like, what are you doing? And Ryan really gave me the push I needed to kind of take the songs to Linkin Park, and they weren't Linkin Park songs, so it was like they liked the songs, but when they're not Linkin Park songs,
right.
You don't want to force something, and that's something we've learned. But they're still really good, and so Ryan and Amir, I asked them to help me produce a solo album, and it just over time, with their input on the songs, and became a band, and that's how we kind of formed.
That is awesome.
I just told Julian K, guys, you're in my band, pretty much.
You're like, you, and you, let's go do something rocking. We're going to be in the parking lot in Glendale selling beer and songs.
Exactly. That's the goal.
We always knew, these guys recorded their first record in the same studio that Orgy was recording its second record in.
Oh, really?
And that's how Chester and I met, and we became friends in like a day.
Right.
And very quickly, I remember we would talk about, we should do something. Yeah. We should do something. But we didn't know what something was.
It only took 10 years, right?
10 years later. But I'm thrilled because I think we created an amazing record, and I think it's gonna surprise a lot of people at how real this is. It's not just a side project. It's a really, really convincing and incredible piece of work.
I agree.
There's a lot of good songs on it.
Yeah, from the one song I heard, I'm like, because as I said to Chester when I did an interview with him, I'm all, whenever the singer of a big band does another band, it's like it just usually just sounds like the big band.
Sure.
And Dead by Sunrise doesn't. It sounds like its own band.
Yeah, he came. I mean, he's done an incredible job. So I'm super excited.
Arizona's Real Rock 98 KUPD. Ryan and Chester from Dead by Sunrise here, and we have Lindsay. Lindsay,
Hi.
big fan. So
Yes.
you were dying to come down. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. I'm excited. I'm really excited to be here.
Your last name isn't Big Fan, is it?
No.
Okay.
Lindsay, big
Parrish.
fan. This is a total coincidence.
Definitely not.
Because that's what I thought.
Well, first off, definitely Chester. Big fan of you. Big fan of Linkin Park. I love it. I've been a fan since you guys first started.
Thank you.
My initial question, I have so many things that I'd like to say, but my initial question is, I know back a couple years ago, Mike got started with Fort Minor, and that was his side project, and I don't know how his ideas came around for that, but what was your initial idea to go ahead and get started with Dead by Sunrise? What made you decide that you want to go ahead and do your own side project?
Well, with Mike, I think Mike really wanted to make a hip hop record,
Right.
Because that's one of his big passions is hip hop, and it's pretty obvious. And that's not going to happen with Linkin Park. We're not going to make a strictly hip hop record. So that was one way for him to get that out there, and also help push his friends in Styles of Beyond to kind of get them out in the public eye a little bit. With Dead by Sunrise, it really came down to the fact that I had this batch of songs that I would play at home because I had nowhere else to play them, and I'd taken a couple of them to the Linkin Park guys, and it was like, yeah, this is a great song. I just don't know what we can do with it because it's so different from what we were doing. And that at the time makes sense, but now I think it doesn't make much sense because we're so in a different place now than we were when I started writing these songs, in 2005.
Right.
So, it really came down to the fact that I just felt like these songs, even though they weren't Linkin Park style songs, that they were still good enough and they kind of deserved to be heard. And so that's when I went and asked Ryan and Amir to help me do this stuff. And that's kind of how it started. I mean, Linkin Park was taking a really long time off because we had just finished touring Eora. We had toured for 4 years, and we were tired. And so I knew we were taking time, and we were fighting with the record company at the time, and we worked all that stuff out. But in the meantime, I was just sitting around drinking. And so I had to do something else with my time besides
Summer
just
of
sit around
love.
and drink.
Right.
So I started writing songs, and this is the kind of music that I write on my own. And so it has a much grungier, kind of dirtier feel. And with the help of Ryan and Amir, with their pop and kind of more pop electronic alternative sensibility, we kind of pushed all that stuff together and created the sound.
Right.
And that's how it all started.
Nice.
That is awesome. You know what? I'm real pleased you guys had time to come in and do it. Time to come in today. I know you guys have been doing a lot of media, so thank you for taking time out. That's really cool to see you.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
Is there anything else that people need to know about what's going on with either any of your bands, your lives, your university, or anything? Because
Well, Julian Case just had a couple free downloads in the last week or so.
Yeah, on Beatport and a couple remixes and so on and so forth. It's something we're obviously focusing and shifting into total Dead by Sunrise mode because I think this is going to be a really we're in love with what we did. It's one more babies, but that'll be something that we also do when we're available. Say if there's a day or two off on a DBS tour, we considered playing a Julian Case show. Releasing more tracks as we record them, so on and so forth. But really,
eventually we're just going to have so many bands together that we're going to put together like a festival show, and it's just going to be 8 hours of us playing just different styles of music.
We actually may even do Orgy if there's a a month off next year.
That would be awesome.
So just like just touring, maybe one new song and. Just because it's cool, because Orgy is awesome.
Orgy is awesome.
Yeah,
So. Your band is good.
Yeah,
Your band
for
is
real.
good.
But obviously, the focus right now is Julian K just had a run touring and chart. Had some songs chart, and we're thrilled.
Cool.
But this is going to be. We worked really hard on this.
Yeah,
record.
we've been working really
wanna
hard,
focus
really long
this.
on it. So.
Well, you know what? Thanks for coming in, Chester. Seriously, Doggy Daycare Petco. They have classes.
You're a genius. You're a genius.
They can help you.
Yeah. I'll tell my wife you said that, and she'll go, yeah, it's a great idea, and then nothing will ever happen. I love you, though, honey. You're the
my
best.
phone's going to start blowing
You're the
up.
best, babe.
It's Arizona's Real Rock 98 KUPD.